the look of disgust Elise is giving me. It's kind of funny. Okay, so we on the table, I towel dried her head more and her body more. I don't recommend a bed on the table. I do it for a couple of reasons. It brings them up higher. I wanted to have an anti-fatigue mat for them, but I just didn't want to pay the price. So I bought this instead, and it serves its purpose. It's easier actually to groom them if it's not on there, but I like the added height. And I'm standing on an anti-fatigue mat that makes me taller. So Elise's coat does not mat, so I don't really need to brush her before I dry her for that reason, but it does make blow drying faster because it breaks up the hair. I don't know if you've ever noticed, like you're in an area and it just seems to not dry. You're like, the blow dryer's on it, it's not drying. A lot of times if you brush it, it's going to open up those hair fibers and allow air and it'll dry a lot faster. So, and you'll see me using the brush while I'm drying her. Blow drying is super important. It prevents fungus from forming on the skin, which can cause itching, and blow drying all the way for the same reason. I like to trim their ears when they are wet. It's just easier to see where you're going. And I'm going to show you, let's see. So this is her ear leather that I put my thumb at the end of her ear leather and I cut. I'm pulling all of her hair down. So I can't cut her. That's from in front. We don't want that there. And you're going to go to the leather, the whole back of the ear and the bottom of the ear, but not the front. Australian Labradoodles are the only doodle with the short ears because they're the only doodle that has more than one other breed in it besides poodle. So we accentuate that very unique, special cuteness. And there is, so this is the bottom of her ear. I'm not doing the front, but I'm doing the bottom. There is no other doodle that has the mixture of breeds that Australian Labradoodles have. And they're very unique because of that and very special because of it. Then I do it all the way to where it attaches to the head. All this right here. This hair right in front of the ear, right underneath it. I cut that short. It helps let airflow get in there, keeps them cooler. And I cut that short all the way down right there. Now we're gonna do this ear, same thing. Bottom. The front can't be longer than the bottom. I'm putting, again, my finger on the end of their ear leather so I can't cut them. When you start out grooming on your own, don't try to get it all done in one shot. You're a lot slower, and the dog doesn't have the capacity to do that. I was super slow when I started, but I had 4 dogs, so it really helped me to learn how to do it fast. This is the hair under the ear. So I've gone all the way to her ear leather there. I will also often do under their chin when it's wet because it folds up. Just be really careful that you're not cutting skin because there's a lot of loose skin under here. You can use your fingers as a guide as well. I don't like their chins to get long. It makes them look like old men. Plus it gets gross and dirty. And you're just cutting across straight and then kind of blending right here. As it rolls up. A lot of times it'll get way too long down here. Again, this is right under that ear, so I cut that short. the area between the eye and the ear can get really overgrown, between the corner of the eye and the back of the ear. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we're grooming the ear. This is some hair from under the ear that's peeking out. That was hair from on the top that's longer than the ear, which makes it just too long. We'll check the same thing over here. Now she's looking outside. I like to have my grooming table in front of a window. It helps my guys watch something else. So now I'm just pulling down the hair that's longer than the ear because I don't want that. Okay. Now I'm gonna blow dry. I always start with, this ear looks pointed. I always start with the head because if that gets curly, it doesn't lay right. And I wanna blow it back from the eyes so it's not in their eyes as well. You can put cotton balls in their ears. It makes it not as loud and they appreciate that. And you also can use a happy hoodie, which I can link below. I don't have the little one up here for Elise, but so if you wanted to, you can put the happy hoodie on the head. It's basically a hat without a top and a bottom. And it goes on like this. It's gonna hold that hair back while you blow dry the rest of the body. And it's going to also start to dry the top of the head a little. So just since I already have it on her, let's, I'll start with the body. I use an adapter when I do the body. I do not use the adapter on the head. And by the way, a professional blow dryer makes all the difference in the world, and you can get them for like 80 bucks. For everyone drying them faster, because this is a high forced air dryer, but it also it dries them faster. It separates the hair faster, and it keeps mats out because it blows them out. So I highly recommend it. I use the Flying Pig. You don't need one this expensive. When I use the attachment, I don't put it on high on the body, on high velocity. And you're just gonna blow dry back. Okay, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna strap her in because she's trying to be a goober. Hi, princess. You do know I love you, right? Okay, let me scoot you up more. This is called the Groomer's Helper, aka thebomb.com. It's ridiculously expensive and worth every penny if you're grooming yourself. It's more than the cost of one groom. It's almost the cost of 2 grooms. But they can't go anywhere. It's a glorious thing. with the happy hoodie on, I can do the very tips of her ears if they stick out of it. With this, those take the longest to dry. Also, if they're strapped in, they're going to fight less and their adrenaline's going to be less because they know they can't get out. Feeling to make it dry. Okay, now I'm going to do the head. And what I'll try to do, I'm going to try and grab the camera. Sorry, Elise. You're probably looking right at her nose. Let me see what you see. See if I can get it back far enough. I'm going to come over there. Obviously, you're not starting off using those tools, the blow dryer tool that I use. Most dryers come with 2 tools. The one I use is the bigger slot. There's one that's just a little round opening. I don't ever use it on my dogs. I think it's mean. And we built them up to this. If you do it too fast, you can terrorize your dog and make them terrified of being groomed. So just be careful with it. Excuse me. My guys love being blow dried because I always played games with them. With my blow dryer, like I would be blow drying and they would run up and when they were puppies and I would blow at them and they would get treats and it was always a big game. But they did get really scared. When we started using the attachment, I didn't realize that the smaller attachment was being used on them. And it was just being pushed too hard and they all got terrified of being blow dried. So we had to kind of earn our trust back. Groomers, salons, when you take them in, a lot of times they don't give a rip. They're going to put it on high on the dog's face. And I think that's cruel and unacceptable. A lot of grooming salons, if you knew what went on there, you would be terrified and you wouldn't take your dogs. So it's really long right here under her beard. This hair curls under, so it's easier to see when it's dry. All right, I'll be right back.